And today, our theme will be support. Move to your elbows. Often we find that when our support is removed, strength now has the space to emerge. And to our shoulders, we'll start backwards, slow, big circles. As big as you can make without any pain. And that might show up in the form of financial support being removed and you, for the first time, having to fend for yourself. Maybe it's a friend having to show up and you're finding the emergence of the strength of a friendship. Or it might be you in your own body finding support for the first time or again. And reverse. Breathing into the nose, out through the mouth. Just warming up, lubricating the joints. Practicing. And then one arm. And then the other. Adding a little rotation at the waist. Often we have to pivot when support is removed, so we add rotation here. Rotation allows us to see more options than we could see before, having a linear positionality. You might have to change the plan midway through. We practice rotation. We practice looking ahead, looking in different directions. You might even feel dizzy if you haven't acclimated to looking around you and looking in different ways than you're normally used to. Often in movement, when we find ourselves upside down, as life can sometimes feel, we get a little dizzy. The blood has to flow differently. Body has to acclimate. Good. And now let's go rotations around to a side. And what we'll do is this back leg, we'll turn the ankle out a little to get some stretch on the tissues on the outside of the leg. Because when we rotate and we'll switch often, tissues and parts of ourselves that weren't used to being stressed or feeling a little stressed. Good. Now let's stay on one side. Ankle is rotated. You're on the side of your foot, and we'll go from one side holding, and the arms will rotate, and we'll return to that same side. The arms will rotate, and we'll return to that same side. And sometimes it takes a little while to figure it out. Breathing. So we have to have presence and patience. Breathe. Breathe. And switch legs. Ankle is on that side. You're on the side of the foot. We'll rotate, reach. And the arms rotate and reach. And the arms rotate and reach. Breathing, finding peace in the body, finding stillness even in the rotation, in the pivot. And let's continue with circles now with the ribs around the hips. And make sure you're going 360, getting it all the way out in the back, all the way to the side, out in the front, all the way around. And reverse. And let's bring it into the hips. That same rotation will go into the big hips today. I gave Macy a bone this morning, so she's occupied. She's also loud. It's always going to be a compromise. And we learn this also when support is missing or different than we're used to. We have sometimes the choice we have to make, switch direction about compromise, whether to compromise our values or to compromise a convenience. Breathe. Excellent. And then we'll go to the ankles. So onto the ball of the foot, one at a time. Nice, big circles, as big as you're able to make without pain. If it feels better to make smaller circles at first and then get bigger and bigger, do that. And reverse. Just seek out the nooks and the crannies of the ankle, places that won't normally be accessed during a regular day in your life. But maybe when you step off a curb, that mobility is needed. Good, switch. Breathe. When we move in ways that we're not used to, switch direction, we often lose track of our breath. So I'll be reminding you to breathe. Excellent. And if you have a ball at the ready, if you have either a tennis ball or lacrosse ball or something to roll your feet with, it would also be a good idea to do that during this type of a session. I won't ask you to do it now, but I'm just letting you know. If you have that, have it at the ready for Rise and Move, because I will be calling on it in future sessions. And now we're going to begin our release and our scan and choice. So let's begin by going inside and noticing sensations in the body, even maybe that showed up as a result of adding some rotation into our warm-up. And just notice if there's somewhere drawing your attention, something showing up for you to let go today. Just take a moment to scan. The more you practice this, the easier it is to find, more quickly you'll find things. Be easy with yourself and just try to notice any tension, any temperature, warmth or coldness, any buzzing or tingling. Breathe. Once you've found it, let's just allow that to be at the center of our intention, and whether or not you want to transmute it, transfer it, release it, you choose. There might be something there for you that needs re-examination. Might be something for you to meditate on later. For now, what we're going to do is start to go into our integrative squat. So you're going to go down about a quarter of the way. Make sure you feel your feet on the ground, squeeze the quads, squeeze the glute to rise. So we're not going at full depth, we're warming up the knees in this pattern. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So we're going to be noticing what it feels like to have full support of both legs as we sink toward the floor. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. And let's get lower and lower with each one now until we're as low as we think we can go. And when you've reached that place where you feel like you're as low as you think you can go there again. And one more time. And now go lower. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale one more time. Inhale and exhale. Excellent. So sometimes we think we have a ceiling or a roof or a floor or a bottom, and then there's more space for us to find. And now we'll practice removing some support. So let's establish a short and skinny foot in our right foot. So just draw the first half of your foot back towards your heel and then lift the other leg off the ground. Doesn't have to lift very high. If you like to challenge yourself, you can. And when we do our walkouts now, we're going to have our knees even with each other. So don't reach it back. Just have your knee even with your other knee. And you're going to fold forward, pulling in through the hip. Find the floor with your hands. And you're going to have your palms in contact completely with the floor. And find your high plank today. Different support required. Breathing. Keep the hips square to the floor. And then find your way back. Find the back body. Make sure your hips not sinking out, slipping out to the right. Keep it in alignment with your body. And then squeeze up. If you can keep that foot off the floor, do so. And then find support again. See what the difference is between supported and different type of support, right? This may not feel like the lack of support. It's just different types of support. Right, so now let's switch to the other side. Find short and skinny foot on the left, drawing the back and the front half of the foot together, and then squeezing the foot with the intrinsic muscles together, creating a strong foundation of support. Or sometimes we need to have only a singular alignment here. Sometimes it's just us, and we need to feel the power in ourselves. Pulling the hip flexor in, finding the floor. Breathing. Walking out, finding your high plank. Feeling your hips support you, your core support you, your hands, your feet. And walk it back. And find both feet on the floor again. Excellent. And now we're going to revisit our rotation. So we're going to squat and we're going to come up into, so this is a squat, and then we're going to come up into our rotation and then back down into the squat. So here. Excellent. So we're digging deep, finding new support. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. And rotate. And rotate. And rotate. And rotate. And rotate. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to do this again. We're going to find support on one foot, draw the front and back half of the foot together, and we're going to take the leg to the side. And we're going to hold. So this might look like a tree pose, right? We're going to have tree pose here. You can either have your hands above you or simply put them on your waist. Sometimes I'm not even touching this foot yet. I'm still maintaining support on one leg. And hands can rest on the hips or they can be overhead, your choice. As you have many choices, when support shifts, we're just feeling the integrity of the body in this position. One leg support. And then bring the leg back to center and down. And let's go on the other side. Establish short and skinny foot on the left. Bring the leg up and open. The foot is close to your leg but not touching. Hands can either be here or they can be here. I'll go here this time just for a change. Breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Excellent. Okay, in our final depth series, we're going to have our feet closer together. So this changes the support even that we're used to in the squat. So the feet will be closer together. And we're still going to go slowly down into it, reaching forward for counterbalance. Inhaling, exhaling. We're going to rotate up. So here, inhale and rotate up. Inhale, up. Inhale, up. Inhale, up. Inhale, up. Inhale, up. One more. Inhale and up. All right. Excellent. And so now let's return to our mat and go to the floor, and we will move to our breath. Bring the camera down a little bit. Okay. Excellent. So today we'll be just taking deep breaths through the nose and being mindful of going into the depth of the belly and expanding outward from there, 360. So being able to see 360, being able to turn 360, being able to go in any direction, this is what we seek. So let's focus on the breath. Pulling air in through the nostrils in a steady stream. We're not grasping, we're not gripping, we're not chasing. We're finding presence in our breath. Being intentional about where it goes and how we move in it. Exhaling slowly through pursed lips at a steady pace. So we're not forcing. We're finding balance on the in and the out. Focus on the exhales, being steady. And the inhale, being steady. See yourself growing, expanding, being able to manage and handle and command even 360 degrees of expansion. We'll take 2 more deep breaths together. And 1 more. Excellent. And from this expansive positioning where you now have 360 degrees of vision and ability to turn and support, how will you show up today? No matter how support looks or shows up, how will you show up? Resourceful, maybe. A leader, maybe. Resilient, maybe. Open, willing, maybe. Maybe in a more receptive space, allowing yourself to be the receiver of support. And perhaps in a way that you weren't used to receiving. Sometimes support comes in dressed in something we don't even like. But sometimes what we like isn't what we need. And if you'd like to move into the space of visualizing between 69 and 3 minutes, 69 seconds and 3 minutes, now's the time to really hold the vision for what you're creating. Spend some time embodying it. Doing this daily is the fastest way to create thought to form, and then taking action, of course, ignites it. I'm going to do that now, and I'll say our farewell until tomorrow. Until then, tap in, rise up, and have a powerful day.